Ever open up your inbox and just feel like, oh no, not this again? Like you're drowning in emails, reports, presentations.
It's a universal feeling, right?
Totally. It's like we're drowning in data these days. So how do we cut through all that noise and find the stuff that actually matters?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. AI-powered efficiency, and how AI can help us tackle all those tedious tasks we all know and, let's be honest, kind of dread.
And you know what's really interesting about this? It's not just about speed, although AI definitely delivers on that front.
Oh, for sure.
It's about reducing those pesky errors, making sure our data is secure, and believe it or not, even making work more engaging.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Mm-hmm.
So for today's deep dive, we've got a really interesting mix of sources, excerpts from a consulting company's website, a flyer about a pretty cool AI solution they developed, and even a video.
And that consulting company, DSS Consulting, they really hit the ground running, addressing this feeling of data overload that we've all experienced.
They get it?
They do. And they point to a major culprit, unstructured data.
Unstructured data. Okay, before we go any further, can we break that down a bit?
Absolutely. Think about all those emails piling up in your inbox, contracts with paragraphs of legal jargon, even those social media posts you scroll through. That's unstructured data. It doesn't fit neatly into rows and columns like we're used to seeing in spreadsheets or databases.
Oh, I see.
And here's the kicker. Experts estimate that unstructured data makes up about 80% of all the data out there.
80%. Okay, no wonder it feels like we're constantly playing catch-up.
Exactly. And this is where those traditional systems we've relied on, they start to show their limitations.
Right.
Imagine searching for a specific piece of information in a mountain of, let's say, text documents. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, more like trying to find a specific grain of sand on the beach. You know it's there, but good luck ever actually finding it.
Exactly. And that's where AI steps in, acting as that essential bridge between that messy reality of unstructured data and the structured systems we rely on to make sense of it all.
Okay, so how does AI actually understand data, especially something as complex as language?
That's where the magic of natural language processing comes into play. AI models are trained on these massive data sets of text and code, and they learn to identify patterns, extract meaning from context, and even grasp things like sentiment and tone.
Why?
It's like teaching a computer to, read between the lines, but on a scale we could only have dreamed of before.
So we're talking about AI that can not only read, but actually comprehend information the way humans do.
You got it.
That's a game changer.
It really is. And this comprehension is what allows for what DSS Consulting calls AI-assisted data transformation.
Yeah.
Basically taking that messy, unstructured data and turning it into something meaningful and usable. And they've put this into practice with a solution they call Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Okay, let's take a very real-world example that I'm sure many of us have experienced, processing resumes.
Oh, the dread.
Right. Imagine you're a recruiter facing a mountain of resumes, all in different formats, with information scattered everywhere. Trying to sort through that to find the perfect candidate can make anyone want to pull their hair out.
Tell me about it. I've been there. So how does Esmeralda make this whole process less painful?
Streamlines it in a way that would make even the most organized person jealous.
Okay, I'm listening.
Remember how DSS Consulting talked about transforming data to meet specific needs?
Yes.
That's exactly what Esmeralda does for resumes. Takes all those different formats, identifies the key information, and boom, standardizes everything into a searchable, sortable format.
So instead of spending hours deciphering each individual resume, Esmeralda lets recruiters see all the important stuff instantly. Talk about a time saver.
Oh, it is. But it gets even better. Let's say you need to, remove any potential bias from that initial screening process. Esmeralda can actually anonymize those resumes, hiding names, genders, even schools, so the focus is purely on skills and experience.
Okay, color me impressed. But is this just a flashy tech demo, or are there actual measurable results? Because let's be real. Sometimes these things sound a little too good to be true.
Oh, the results are very real and incredibly impressive.
Okay, I'm ready to be wowed.
According to the information we have, Esmeralda can reduce the time spent on a single resume from an average of, get this, 45 to 60 minutes down to just 5 minutes.
Wait, are you serious? That's a reduction of almost 90%. It's like having a whole team of super efficient assistants working around the clock.
Exactly. But it's not just about speed. Think about the potential for reducing bias in hiring, freeing up HR teams to actually focus on those more strategic tasks, maybe even improving the candidate experience overall.
So it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
We've seen how Esmeralda can, revolutionize recruitment, but its applications extend far beyond just resumes, right? I mean, DSS Consulting mentioned using AI in other fields too, like healthcare and finance.
You are absolutely right, and that's what's so exciting about this technology. It's versatility. Any field that deals with large volumes of information can benefit from this kind of AI-powered efficiency.
Exactly. It's really mind-blowing to think that one technology can have such a wide range of applications across so many different fields.
Yeah.
And it really highlights how AI isn't just about replacing jobs altogether. It's about, changing the way we work entirely.
Precisely. And remember, we're still just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Okay, this is all incredibly fascinating. But what about the numbers? We've heard about the impressive time savings with Esmeralda in recruitment, but what other tangible impacts did DSS Consulting observe?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. They saw consistent improvements in efficiency, cost savings. And it's not even just about working faster, it's about working smarter. Remember how we were talking about how traditional systems just kind of struggle with unstructured data?
Right.
Well, because Esmeralda can actually understand the context of information, it reduces the margin for error significantly.
So fewer mistakes, less wasted time, and potentially huge cost savings.
Got it. But I think it's also important to talk about the human side of this equation as well. You mentioned earlier that AI could actually make work more, engaging.
Yeah. When you think about it, when you eliminate those repetitive, mind-numbing tasks that we all kind of dread, it frees up people to focus on what humans do best. Problem solving, critical thinking, creativity. Instead of manually entering data all day, employees can use their expertise to analyze the insights that AI surfaces, make strategic decisions, and really drive innovation. That's got to be a much more motivating and fulfilling way to work, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's like the difference between being stuck on autopilot and actually steering the ship. You get to be more involved in the bigger picture, which is always more exciting.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual job satisfaction either. This shift toward more meaningful work can actually lead to a more engaged and productive workforce overall, which benefits everyone.
Exactly.
It really does feel like we're kind of on the verge of this major shift in the way we work. But, with all this talk about automation and efficiency, it's understandable that some people might be feeling a little apprehensive about what it all means.
Oh, absolutely. Change can be a little unsettling, especially when it comes to technology.
So how do we address those concerns? Where do we go from here? It's like we're standing at the edge of something really big and really new, but we're not quite sure whether to be excited or terrified,
I think that's a great way to put it. And that feeling, that little bit of uncertainty, it's always been there with every big technological advancement.
Right.
The key is to approach it with a healthy dose of, both excitement and a little caution.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
So how do we navigate this new landscape, this world where AI is taking on more and more of those tasks that used to be, our everyday work?
Well, I think it starts with shifting our mindset a bit. Instead of viewing AI as this threat, something to be feared, we need to start thinking about it as a tool. A powerful tool, sure, but a tool nonetheless, one that can actually make us better at what we do.
Easier said than done, I imagine, especially with those headlines screaming about robots taking over the world.
Oh, absolutely. I get it. But think back to those DSS Consulting examples.
Right.
We weren't talking about replacing human intelligence. We were talking about making it better.
Augmenting it.
Exactly. We talked about AI handling the tedious parts of reviewing resumes, but it didn't eliminate the need for recruiters altogether.
Right.
Instead, it actually freed them up to do the parts of their jobs that require that uniquely human touch,
Connecting with candidates.
Exactly. Understanding their qualifications and finding the perfect fit for their organization. Those are things AI can't replicate.
So it's about humans and AI working together, not against each other.
Exactly. Collaboration, not competition.
I like that. But of course, it wouldn't be a true deep dive if we didn't at least acknowledge some of the potential downsides as well.
Of course.
What about the risk of bias creeping into these AI systems or the ethical implications of relying so heavily on technology? These are important things to consider, right?
Absolutely. Those are all valid concerns, and to be honest, concerns that we need to address head on. It's crucial that we develop and use AI responsibly, ensuring things like transparency, fairness, and accountability every step of the way. And that requires, I think, a truly collaborative approach involving policymakers, tech companies, researchers, and even the public.
Wow, so it's not just a tech issue, it's a societal one.
Exactly. We're talking about shaping the future of work, of life as we know it. And that's a conversation that everyone needs to have a voice in.
That's a great point. It seems like the message here is that AI has the potential to be incredibly beneficial, but only if we're thoughtful and intentional about how we approach it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's an incredibly exciting time to be alive. AI is opening up possibilities that we could only have dreamed of just a few short years ago. But it also comes with a responsibility to make sure that we're harnessing that power for good.
It's like we've been handed this incredible paintbrush, and we have a blank canvas in front of us.
I like that.
It's up to us to decide what we create.
A future full of possibilities and a little bit of responsibility, too.
Well said. This has been a fascinating deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I have to say, I'm leaving with a lot to think about as we navigate this new world of AI-powered efficiency.
Me too.
From those mountains of resumes to spotting those tiny anomalies in financial data, it's clear that this technology is going to continue to reshape industries and redefine the way we work. But, as we've discussed, it's crucial that we approach this new frontier thoughtfully and ethically, always keeping in mind that AI should enhance, not replace, what makes us human.
Well said.
And on that note, until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep learning.